Make sure to hit that like button.
Welcome back to another episode of the 2 a.m. podcast, joined by me, Saeed Ashur, and Mr. Zaid K. Dahaj. Trigger happy, Twitter finger.
Trigger happy with my IG clips.
Whatever you want to call him.
The latest edition of people getting triggered.
Yeah, apparently you've been spewing a lot of BS, bro. Is that true?
I told people to walk 16,000 steps per day and the internet lost its shit.
Yeah.
For some reason.
Listen, bro. I think most people don't grasp, your full statement. And why is that? It's because they don't watch the full episode.
They don't.
What happened?
Look at the comment.
Oh.
Give a little shout out.
Hi, Haley.
Hi, Haley.
Welcome
we don't know who you
live.
are, but we're going to say hi.
Yeah. To our listeners on Spotify, you guys are probably not aware of this, but we are live on Instagram, TikTok right now, actually. Yeah. So people are requesting shout outs. Let's do that.
Anyways, what were you saying?
What was I saying? I don't know.
Internet lost its shit because I told them to start walking
steps,
more.
8,000 steps. People don't know how to perceive their day, I think, or something like that.
I don't think
But
so.
then at the same time, there's more context. We put up clips just so you guys can watch the full episode, hopefully,
Yeah.
a part of your research.
Like, I've always been a big believer in this idea. Nuance, okay? I understand that there are people who are obese who can't walk as many steps as me, for example, because I'm more physically fit and I'm able-bodied.
Yes.
I understand that there are people who are paraplegic, they can't walk at all. But if you are an able-bodied man or woman or child who has 2 functioning legs,
Yes, sir.
then you can walk more.
Absolutely. Of course. I mean, you have 2 legs, fully functioning body. Come on, let's do it. And it's what's the reasoning though? The reasoning is very clear. It's for your own benefit to gain, a longer life and just a better quality life, I guess. The things it does to your full body from head to toe. And we're talking about literal head, like your brain. Its functionality changes. And what is your brain responsible for? Your moods, your swings, your little anger moments, your happy moments, your memories, everything, right? And it's feeding the rest of your body, and your body is feeding it as well.
Yeah.
So walking just promotes that overall health of your entire well-being. It's crazy.
And let's keep this in mind. Having a podcast and sharing our own perspective, there's going to be some projection onto the audience and other people, right?
Yeah, because, I'm sure everybody knows this by now, but you're going to find a lot of information. Most of our comments that we see, under the 2 a.m. podcast page is, oh my God, work out and you live better. Who knew that? Well, it's a clip for a reason. You know what I mean? So it's so funny that, no shit, Sherlock. We know this.
You have personal autonomy. You can do whatever the hell you want. But I'm giving you a life hack, a true life hack to make your life better in so many ways possible.
Yeah, it's forgotten, bro, because we sit down too much. Our jobs are reliant on us sitting down and using our, it's more brain work these days, right? Creativity, that kind of stuff. Work from home. So basically, bagging groceries actually had you do more steps per day, which, by the time you were home, you were fine for the most part. You were active today. Okay. Today, it's just dying down. You're seeing less and less people working, and then they do things like start up businesses, or I'm going to start up a hustle, or this, and that. And then eventually, within that system, you start to just sit down more. So naturally, we're going to say, everyone stopped walking. I've noticed, because I'm the only one that kept walking.
Yeah.
And the streets are empty now. There was people walking all the time, and now it's slowly dying. But not to the point that you guys might think either. You know what I mean?
Yeah, not like you're unable to walk outside and use the sidewalk.
Yeah, and it's and also from the other perspective, it's not to the point where it's just 0 people out there walking these days. No, it's just drastically less, is what I'm saying. Most people that are walking these days is because they have to walk. They have to walk their dog, or they have to walk their child.
Sure.
Whatever it is.
Your cat.
That's But we're talking about leisurely, mindful walking. And
then here's another thing. You pointed towards this. The system is built for us to be sedentary these days.
Mm-hmm.
We go on Zoom, we work remote jobs. Even if you look at the structure of our cities, like if you look at Los Angeles, I mean, maybe Los Angeles is not a great example, but Western European countries have a certain setup to where you can get around just by being bipedal.
Yeah.
Just walking everywhere.
No, 100%, dude.
Go to the shop, go to the gym, go anywhere you like within a 1 mile radius.
Yeah. So obviously it's from the perspective of Californians. That's what I would say, because most of our experience is here, me and you, right? We're used to long distance, you know. It's almost impossible to go get milk by foot because then you're walking like 6 miles for no. Like, why are you doing that for such a minor task?
There's no reason
right?
to. Yeah.
So you drive. But if you go back to like my place in Egypt, right, where I lived in the middle of the city, I just go down, literally right there.
Go down in the
Turn
market's literally
it's
on
like
it's the same building.
Yeah, one block, not even one block. It's just round the corner from the exit of your apartment building.
Bro, I would wake up in the morning. The Dukan is literally the same.
Yeah.
It's the same. It's a part of the same building.
Yeah. He's your neighbor technically. He took one piece of the apartment and then just transformed it into a store.
Those are some good days, man.
Yeah, it's awesome, you know. And that's what I realize is a part of my traveling experience is really the by foot kind of stuff. You know, you do everything by foot for the most part, or public transportation. So you get to see that you're living differently for once. You know, I'm not driving everywhere. I'm seriously just focused on, wow, I'm appreciating the sky, the buildings, the architecture, the floor, how everything's shifting. People's faces are shifting. Now I'm walking into areas where there's different kinds of culture and people, and
you're zoned in.
Yeah, you're zoned in, and you really can. If you're zooming past this stuff, you won't notice it. Right. And then at the end of it all, when I get back here, I'm like, dude, I want to get out of the house. Like, I feel like anything is possible because I have my 2 feet, you know?
Yeah.
I could just be like, yo, I'm going to just walk out the door and God knows what happens. Might make a sales call today, or I don't know. But it's like your motivation and your dedication and your initialization for the day is completely different when you're used to walking. Yeah. So strange. But yeah, anyway, I just wanted to touch up on that from the last episode.
Yeah.
But
what else do you want to talk about?
I saw something that pissed me off this morning, and it was like some guy talking about like a celebrity divorce, right?
Keep going.
And the celebrity divorce had to be somewhat triggering to this man because he posted a video on TikTok just duetting this, and he was like, yeah, I heard, and people were talking about how like they feel bad for the woman, and like we didn't see this coming, you know, the guy cheated on her, basically. Okay. And he goes, yeah, but I wasn't surprised. Like, you know, like the macho alpha, he has a shirt off, he's in the shower. Literally, he's just like wiping shower off his face, which is stupid because you're still in the shower. But he's sitting there, he's talking to the camera, right? And he has to show off his tattoos and everything. And he's like, yeah, and to be quite frank, every man is the same, right? Every man is a cheater. Some of you just haven't had the opportunity, right? And then I'm like, yeah, but like, and then he started talking about, he started talking about how as a man, we all have that primal instinct. We essentially, basically, in how I took it was we don't have any control, right? We're all naturally cheaters, right? If we're presented the opportunity, we're going to cheat. Guys, we're going to cheat. Like, it's
we
just
all naturally
game over.
want to have sex with anything we see.
God created us that way, bro. He said, and we created cheaters and women. That's what we...
Not even men, it's just cheaters.
Yeah, right? So it's like, that doesn't sound right immediately, right?
No, of course not.
Because I'm a man, and I'm like, no, bro. There's a part of masculinity where it comes from the care about the things, the outcome of things, right? So just because my instincts, okay, my natural instincts means I can go around and just like insert penis into everything. That doesn't make any sense to me. Because later on, as humans get like, you know, slowly updated, what tends to happen is you're like, uh-oh, we need to protect our women. We need to do this. Now I have a child, right? So then your urgency kicks in and you're like, oh, I feel like naturally I'm just providing now and I don't want to leave this, right? Because from what I remember, you know, whoever believes in that, which I do, It wasn't Adam and Adam. It was Adam and Eve, right?
Yeah.
Well,
right? Some people would beg to differ.
Yeah, it was 50 and 50. We needed these two opposites to really conjoin and become this 100% beautiful thing to.
Yeah, like I don't understand.
So I don't get it. But like basically, yeah, the cheating doesn't make sense to me because when did we lose control? You're telling me as a man you don't have control?
It's a very black and white statement. It's an extreme statement.
Mm-hmm.
Like we have cognitive abilities and we can reason our way through things for a reason.
Yeah.
This is how we evolved as a species. But this idea that you either have like you're going to be either celibate or you're going to be a serial cheater.
No, there's no or.
I feel like people put it in that perspective where it's like one or two.
Yeah,
there's nothing in between.
Yeah, in this example, there was no one or two. It was just
one.
It was just there's cheaters and there's women. That's it. That's how it is.
He's obviously projecting his own shit.
He's like, you guys basically are pussies. You guys aren't alpha enough to have been provided the opportunity. So and I'm like, that's not true. That is absolutely not true. Right?
You don't necessarily have to be alpha. If you're a good-looking guy, you have options.
It's not even about good looks anymore, man. It's really like, who are you? What have you done? What is your status level? Intellectually, financially, and like community-wise. By community, I mean your network, your connection, right? Yeah. Like, what is it, dude? What standard level is that? I think that's what defines more of an alpha. It's not really, and then your looks and whatever, because your looks can technically come from working out, right? You'll always look good if you work out, and the first place you can tell is the face. Looks healthy, masculine, Doesn't matter.
I mean, at the end of the day, an alpha is somebody who comes ideally with the full package if you want to look at the definition in a strict way.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm a firm believer that there are a lot of men out there who are technically, if you want to call them alpha, who don't necessarily have money.
Yeah.
Who don't even have like the best social skills.
That's true. And
because they're able to compensate with other things.
Yeah, that's
like
true.
You might be a really like a world-class level guitarist,
mm-hmm.
but very awkward in public. And you could still be considered alpha to a lot of women.
That is true.
Because you have the prestige, you have the
Yeah.
You're at the top of the musical hierarchy, so to speak.
Yeah. Sounds like Ed Sheeran.
Sounds like Ed Sheeran.
Yeah.
What if Ed Sheeran has mad game though?
He does. That's what I'm saying.
Does, of course, yeah.
You know what I mean? People just make fun of him. He's like, look at this little ugly player. Like,
look at this ginger.
It's just weird.
Is he ginger?
He is. Yeah. Oh. He's redhead. I don't know. What do we?
Ginger. What do we feel scientific
about?
term?
Yeah, like, what do we feel about calling them ginger? I feel like that's just wrong.
Yeah, I love all people.
I know.
Brunettes, blondes, gingers. I don't care.
Yeah, I get it. It's more like it's a spice.
It's
kind of thing. Ginger.
It's a human spice.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I actually got some.
You gonna pour us some?
Yes, sir.
Some liquids.
Some liquid goods that I made.
I just want a little bit.
I got you.
I don't know what you have in that concoction.
Bro.
What's in there?
This is freaking caramel macchiato with espresso that I made.
It's freaking caramel macchiato.
Have some.
That's it.
Look at that. Delicious.
Cheers to the 2 a.m. podcast.
Mm-hmm. Cheers.
Smells very good.
Yes, sir.
Okay, not too sweet. I like it.
It's balanced. Yeah. You like my coffee?
We'll take it.
All right, guys. Thank you for waiting for us to take our sips there.
Man, this TikTok live stuff is so fascinating.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on because you're seeing the screen. But anyway, thanks for joining, guys, for the TikTok people. But anyway, you're always going to run into guys like that, right? Where they're going to challenge your masculinity in a sense. Okay. And we live in an online world today where internet is kind of the new place to be. Correct? Yeah. That's most of our information that we try to bring into the real world is from the internet. And it almost feels like most problems are just from there at this point. When it comes to the battles that you're fighting in your head, right?
Mm-hmm.
The decline in like true good people is because of the internet. What else, dude?
You know what I think it comes down to? A lot of people can hide behind anonymous accounts. And because of that, they're not held liable for their actions. Like a guy who has an anonymous account is willing to say some horrific shit to you over the internet. But if he's face to face, he's likely not going to say that.
Is it true? Yeah. I do see a lot of those accounts, especially on Twitter.
It's got to be most of it.
Yeah.
Just talking shit behind an egg.
Yeah, that is true. Because we saw what happened with that one fight between what's his face?
Who?
Was it Brute and Kobe? Oh, no, not Kobe.
Oh no, you're talking about Andrew Tate and Colby.
Andrew Tate and Colby, yes.
Yeah, but they weren't anonymous accounts.
They weren't anonymous, but like, I'm saying is because you're not anonymous. That's what happens.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
There's a potential of people pulling up to your house.
Oh yeah. So that was a gnarly time. I remember we were on that story for a second there, but
it's ridiculous.
Yeah, the challenging masculinity. Okay, here's the thing. Okay, my personal experience, I've always had some sort of a voice, but I was always, for example, tried to be stepped on. They always try to step on me. Why? Because I'm not your average sized person. You get me? I was always that skinny.
Okay.
You know, just had that overall like visual physique, was just like that skinny guy that talked, you know? So over the years, I just started really learning my shit just so I can, you know, send out an example by being actually more silent than anything, you know? Because I'd rather generate an idea and then say it out loud rather than just keep talking. Okay. Most of the guys that I run into these days, they just want to pick fights for no damn reason. Here's a really funny example. You'll get a phone call, right? You'll be like, oh, I haven't heard from this guy in like about a month. Oh, what up? It's probably like a 5-minute phone call. Pick up. Yo, dude, what's up, man? How are you? Oh, I'm doing well, man. Long time no speak. Oh, yeah. What's up, dude? How can I help you, bro?
Long time no speak.
Yeah.
I've never heard that.
I'm like, okay, like, what do you want? Essentially.
Yeah, because why are you calling me?
He's like, oh, I wanted to get your advice on like, I'm trying to get a new lens and I'm deciding. Lenses are expensive. I get it. So I'm like, oh, like sick. What kind of lenses are you looking at? And he's like, well, I wanted to get your recommendation. I'm looking at a Sigma and I'm looking at like a Canon lens for the new R5, blah, 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 blah. So I'm like, okay. I would go with Sigma. I'm a Sigma fan. I think it has like really good artsy, like a really good sharp artsy look. It's sharper in the center, that kind of stuff. He's like, oh, interesting. Okay. Yeah, I really like the Sigma. But I was thinking about going with the Canon. And then it's just like, there's like a pause. And then I'm like, yeah, I mean, like the Canon's good. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. And they're like, yeah. But the Sigma's like, you're right. It's sharper in the center. I can see that. And it's a heavier lens. So I think it looks better on my camera anyway. He's like, all right. Thanks, man. I think I'm going to go with the Canon.
It's like, why did you call me in the first place?
Yeah.
You already had your choice. You made your decision.
So then I'm like, wow. The only thing I can think of at this very moment is, how dare you waste my time?
Yeah, literally.
Right? That's just my only concern at that point. Because me initially, like I initialized the feeling of wellness, like that pillow of supporting this conversation. Like, I'm here to help you. You know what I'm saying? And then it turned into, yo, I just want to let you know that I have better opinions. And it's like, okay. And mind you, I've been in the industry for like 13 years now.
Yeah, you're in the, I would say, top 1% of your field.
There we go.
Just knowledge-wise.
So I'm like, sure, but you can act that way. You can act like, you know, you have your say, and
you know what you need to do.
You're just starting out.
Next time this happens, here's what you do. You let him go on for a little bit, and then you give him the shittiest recommendation possible. So just recommend him like this, like a piece of shit lens that doesn't really work, especially for the intent that he's trying to use it for.
Yeah.
That's what you have to do to those types of people.
Well, here's the thing. I would have just spoken differently. Like if I just want to, because I have that ability, I can do this, right? He can call and be like, yo, I was checking out lenses and I need to get your opinion on something. I can just immediately go, oh, that lens? Well, if you're shooting pornos, I wouldn't, and I just like start adding details in there. Literally just start. He's like, no, I'm not shooting pornos. And he's like, what? You're shooting pornos? What? Yeah, I assume so. Yeah, that's why I'm recommending this lens.
Because it's only for pornos.
Yeah, exactly. I'm recommending the 69 to 420 millimeter.
So ridiculous.
F1.69. All right. So there you go. And he'd be like, is this a joke? And I'd be like, I don't know. Is this a joke? Because it sounds like a joke, And I would just start mimicking him. And he'd be like, what's wrong with you, dude? And I'd be like, what's wrong with you, dude? I could do this, I could do this, but I'm a kind person. I don't want to. I'd rather see the benefit of the doubt every time, even within myself, right? If I'm doubting someone, I'm just going to be like, there's always a benefit. Just find it. If they're that trash as a person, literally smile and walk away. That's the best thing you could do.
I do think that's the classy option.
It's the classiest option, though. But anyway, man. Yeah,
thank God I don't get any of that. Like, I can't remember the last time I've been called by somebody who was like, who hasn't been in my life for a long time, only to ask advice.
Yeah.
And then to like this subtle way of being passive aggressive and trying to just shit on my opinion or something.
I feel you. Oh my God, bro. So I deal with a lot of people 24/7. It's funny because sometimes I help out like people at restaurants or whatever. I grow close connections with my clients. That's the way I do things.
That's how it should be.
Because it's more like, hey, I'd rather you trust me in the long run rather than me making money immediately with you, right? Because everything climbs. My money will climb, my relationship will climb, my trust will climb, and that is an overall better position for me because I'm never at a loss in my life. You get me?
Yeah.
That guy will always help me out with something, and yeah, so sometimes I'll mess around and I'd like miss the retail life. So I'll be like, yo, can I pick up like 6 hours this week at the restaurant? And he'd be like, oh, hell yeah, bro. Thank you so much. I'm like, don't thank me. I actually want to do this, Like,
yeah.
So yeah, he pays me out and everything, but it's like, it's just funny that I still do this till this day. I feel like that's acting, and I miss that because I'm not on the field to act. I'm documenting actors at this point and like, but it's.
But then all of life is really an act if you think about it.
Exactly. So this is what I like to say. Everyone's acting like they don't know how to act when that's the real act.
Wait, say that again?
Okay, so everyone is acting that they don't know how to act, and that's the real act.
Like Alan Watts' philosophy on the persona?
Similar, because there's a little bit of inception in it,
Okay,
it's kind
I can
of like
see that.
So
like the thing behind the thing that you show.
Like, what do I mean by that? It's more like your brain and your manifestation and whatever you tell yourself can bring out several personalities from you, right? We all have that within us. That's what makes great actors is that they're just more in touch with that. They're in the moment so quick. That's what it is. They would go, oh my God, Zay's a police officer right now. This is a dungeon and the floor is lava and we're in the moment and they fully are in it. The only difference is we're not in the moment to begin with. We're so far into our mind that we're believing all these things our mind is telling us when that's not even you. You are just you.
That's a great point.
Think of the sun. When it's up and you're out in it, okay? How is the sun viewing you? It's you. It's just you. It's just a body that moved from inside to outside and then went and sat down and laid down and then came back up. That's it. That's all you are. Everything that's happening in your head is not you. And you think you're talking to yourself. But you are talking to the voice in your head. That's what it is.
Well,
I don't want to make people feel like they're crazy, but that's essentially what it is. And this will rescue your days.
Well, think about it. When you have a thought, notice, where does it come from?
You.
It doesn't come from you.
It comes from within you.
It doesn't come from within you. It comes from out of nowhere. It's a stream of thought.
No. What I'm saying is it comes from within you. It's from the within has a voice. You are just you. Like touch yourself. This is you. That's you.
Well,
you're awake right now. That's it. That's all that's happening. All right. I'm looking at you. I'm not your brain. I don't know what's happening. I could be like, yo, you down to eat? But I have no idea your stomach's hurting. Right? Yeah. Just because I'm starving. So do you see how that works?
If I have this correctly, the way Eastern philosophy approaches the boundary between you and the external world is that there is no boundary. It's all the same thing. Mm-hmm. It seems like we have a boundary because we can touch, we can see things outside of our own physical being.
Yes.
But according to Eastern philosophy, there is no separation. It's all one. And the moments like Satori, enlightenment, all of these higher states of mind, that's when you finally realize and have an experience and a feeling that, oh, I'm the same thing as this chair right here. I'm the same as the ceiling. There is no, even the word I, because it's so tricky within our language. What is I? Mm-hmm. Like, what is my true form? It's such a deep rabbit hole, man.
Yeah. But the point is that voice in your head is not the one that works. It's not the one that makes the money happen. It's not the one, it's actually you. You're programming every single day when you wake up, you're programming the day for yourself.
Yeah.
So you choose whether that rude cashier is going to ruin the rest of your day. That's up to you, because the voice in your head will support it and be like, "Yeah, bad piece of shit," like, and you're like, "Yeah." So think about it. You are telling you that this person is negative and my whole day is now negative. But when your brain told you that you should now be negative.
People are getting so confused.
Bro. You supported it by being negative. But what I'm saying is you do have an option. You can be like, you know what? I'm not going to let this is my happy time today. I'm not going to do this. That's a different answer. And why I tell people to say this stuff out loud is because you get to realize that voice in your head, you think like you're speaking sometimes because it's your own voice, right? It goes, hey, you know what? You've been having a really tough time this week. Just have sugar today. It's totally fine. I know you're restricted to Saturdays, but it's totally fine. You know what? Have just 2 bites. And you have 2 bites. And then later,
just have the whole tub.
Yeah, you're like, you know what? Just have the whole tub. It's totally fine. You already had the 2 earlier. So you're chilling.
Go back to the store and buy another tub.
So you, in the moment, you're like, oh man, I'm talking to myself right now. But you're not talking to yourself. That voice in your head is telling you things and you're succumbing to it. That's it. That's all that's happening.
I hope you guys got that.
So if you say things out loud, it feels like you're battling that voice.
Yeah.
So if you go, today is a great day, that's audible, and you hear the echo in the bathroom, you're like, damn, I actually forgot I can kind of guide myself for a second. But yeah, that's a quick tip for everybody. Not really quick, but...
or simple, but
yeah,
the nature of the conversation is like that.
Exactly.
There's nothing simple about talking.
Yeah. You know, philosophy always comes up when you got these armchairs, boys and girls.
That's clever.
And if you have not subscribed yet, go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel at the 2 a.m. Podcast. We're also available on Spotify at the 2 a.m. Podcast, Apple Podcasts, and all major streaming platforms. Go ahead and follow us there. Give us a 5-star review on Spotify to be featured on our website. And until next time, guys, peace.